The Holy Trinity has been coming up for me a lot. For some reason, the word Trinity is hard to say, but the Trinity has been coming up for me a lot. And I just wanted to come on and do a video about it, explaining what way I have seen it and how maybe you can understand it a little bit deeper so that it makes sense, and how this I am and the true self and all that really interlinks with that. So the Holy Trinity, I've seen it as God, the soul, and then the body and mind. Three separate entities all existing within the same whole, you know. God being that everything is in. Nothing is outside of God. We're going to call it God. You can call it whatever you want. But nothing is outside of it. And then the soul, which is your experience of this universal realm, is eternal. And it is within God. And then the body and mind, which is not eternal, is within the soul, which is all within God. And so whenever you start learning about awareness and your being and your beingness, you will first recognize probably the soul. You will see the soul, the one that has experienced all of this, which is essentially God, but it's a fragment of God. And if you're not aware of that and you're more identified with the body and mind as being you, then you will not see the true essence of the soul, which is a God essence, a God expression, which is what we all truly are. So if you just want to understand it as that sometimes we get identified with the body and mind so much that we can't see God or the soul. And then maybe through searching, we may bypass what the soul really looks like and just find God as a teaching, and we will experience and see it from body and mind. And to see it and experience God from body and mind means that you will always think that you are the ways of the body, the ways of the mind, and you will not become the true essence of what the teachings have all been pointing to, which is the pure essence and God expression of the soul that is always connected and knows it's always in God. So the reason I talk so much about the self and so much about being aware is because the true spiritual experience, whatever way you label it, whatever path you've took, all point back to becoming the same thing, becoming Christ, becoming like Jesus, becoming Buddha, becoming whatever that looks like in your perception, whatever you look at to be the highest form of consciousness. For us to truly attain that, we have to be willing to see the Trinity, to see how it all fits together, and to see that we all are God expressed as a body and a soul. And once we understand that, and once we accept that and start to strip away the identity with the body, the identity with the mind, and even the identity with the soul, I realize that when we all come back to the truth of God, the truth of source within us and around us, then we ultimately have all those three things in harmony with each other. Because the body and mind, when it thinks that it's all that it is, starts to take over our lives and starts to think that it is the only thing in existence. But when we come back to the truth and we strip away all that and start seeing what the truth is in God, in our soul, then the body and mind will no longer be your master, and it will then become the servant of God. But the soul is always a servant of God because that's what it essentially is. And the body and mind can only mimic that. If you haven't stripped it all away, then you're just mimicking what it looks like to be godly. but to truly become godly, to truly become holy, to truly become whole in the Trinity is to see what you truly are, and that all the creations of the mind and the body are just that, experiences and ideas and perceptions that always are changing and are always passing. But what never passes? What remains the same? The soul and God. So if you truly want to become whole again, you have to look at all three of those elements and bring them back together in harmony.